Hey, kia ora, Helen Brahms here again. I'm in the library. Going to turn it around so you can see it, and I'll show you the room attached to it. We're in a separate building that's got a card room in here. There's a puzzle room, a computer room, about 3 or 4 meeting rooms. Did I mention the TV room? I just walked through another card room where people were actually sitting there playing cards, something called 65. No idea what that is. Walked through this door, 9 billiard tables, nine full-size billiard tables. I took a picture of the room because there was a guy in there playing pool. And then came back to the library. I'm going to set up camp here for a while, do some writing, that sort of stuff. But I'm going to turn this around so you can see the library. So this is all part of the library. Look, it looks like a real library. It actually has bookcases with lots and lots of books. So that's all the fiction section. This is fiction over here. You've got some non-fiction there. You've got all the romance stuff there. More non-fiction. This is where you return your books to. And more non-fiction stuff there. And then this is the TV, one of the TV lounges. So this is different to the other one. This one's got more of a theatre style seating in here. And they've got a card table over the back. Now that card table over the back here, they have like 4 of these in one of the card rooms, all with chairs around it. So that's this building. And then they've got meeting rooms which are currently closed off. And what was the other thing I was going to say? Oh yeah, and then there's the other building with all of the... So I'm going to post some more pictures when I get some more pictures done. To get back to my RV, I have to walk all the way back down there where we went the first time to go and check out the building that was all closed up. So I've got to walk all the way back down there, but the other direction. So I'm going to sit, I'm going to write, I'll talk with people as they come. I just wanted to be somewhere. They don't really have like a community room as such. It's just, you go hang out in the TV lounge, we hang out in the library, that sort of thing. And I'm sort of like, yeah, there's other ones where you've got like a lodge area where you can go and sit and people will come in and talk to you and that sort of thing. But this one here, it's sort of like, when I asked about that, they were like, oh, well, there's the library and there's a TV room in the building behind us and there's another TV room somewhere. And yeah, I got the person who'd only been here. It's day 4 for her, so she hasn't quite gotten to know the resort yet. But I was able to fill in some blanks for her. But so these books are mainly donated. Basically, if you've read a book and you don't want to take it in your RV with you, you just bring it over here and drop it off and pick up another book. But their honor system here is borrow a book and bring it back. I'm of the opinion of, if it's a book I'm going to read for a while, it's take me a while to read it, then I'll take it with me, but I will leave a book behind. So I switch. But yeah, they've got good on. There's a lot of James Patterson books there. There's a lot of Anne Rice. Let's see who else they got. I know they've got Stephen Berry. He's behind me here somewhere. Yeah, they've got the Stephen Berry books. If you haven't read those, they're really good books. Kind of like an ex-CIA guy meets Indiana Jones type of thing. And he's ex-CIA, but he lives in Copenhagen, Denmark, and owns a second-hand bookstore and gets called in every now and again to do Indiana Jones type stuff, like go find artifacts or stop people from finding artifacts. I see some Vince Flynn books down there, John Grisham. I got some Sandra Brown. She writes some really good suspense books. Let's see, who else have they got here that I like? I love books. I've got a book here called The Librarian. I wonder if that's the one that the new thriller about stealing the presidential election from the author of American Hero, filmed as Wake the Dog. Oh, Larry Beinhardt. Might have to check that one out. I'll put it back there for now. Let's see. Let's just take you on a browse around the books. I love looking at books. We've got Dan Brown. Now there's another guy. Let's see. Everybody knows Dan Brown, but do you know Don Brown? And they don't have any of his books here. If you don't know Don Brown, check out his books. It's not Dan Brown, it's Don Brown, D-O-N. He writes amazing books. He's got a series called Justice, and it's about a guy who is a JAG officer. So really, really cool. Agatha Christie, oh my gosh. Tom Clancy, for those that like his books, I like his movies. Oh, they've got a whole bunch of Mary Higgins Clark, Mary Jane Clark. Got Mary Higgins Clark. Do they have her daughter Carol? Oh, yep, they've got Carol Higgins Clark down there as well. Let's see. Lots of Patricia Cornwell. I could never get into her books. I read one of her books once. The first book of hers I read, I didn't like how it ended. I mean, it was getting up to be a really good thing. And then the person that they said it wasn't that person. They found out it was another person, but you hadn't met the other person in the book at all. So it was just some random person. And I was just like, yeah, I don't like that. I like to meet the villains. When you're talking thrillers and that, I like to meet the villains during the book. Oh, her books are funny. Jenna Evanovich. I love her books. They're funny. They're really good. Oh, Richard Paul Evans, he writes really good books too. Nicholas, yeah, I haven't read his. Let's see who else they've got down here. As you can see, they've got a good range of books in here. Cheating at Solitaire, that sounds good. But, you know, it just goes on and on and on and on and on. Oh, she writes really good books. Tammy Hoag, she writes really good books too. Let's see, they don't have any C.G. Coopers. Might have to get some of his books and put them in and donate them to some libraries. They've got thrillers in here and romances and suspense books and general literature, and there's just a huge amount of books. This is the biggest library I have seen. Oh, Robert Ludlum. Oh my gosh, I love his books. Do they have? So he wrote the Bourne series, Jason Bourne series. If you've seen the movies, that's the guy who wrote them. But they don't have, or do they? Looking down here, the Utopia. There's one book they have. It's called The Gemini Twins that Robert Ludlum wrote. I love that book. That book is awesome. It has everything in there. You got good twin versus bad twin, and really, really cool storyline too. It's if you like the Bourne stuff, then you're going to like Gemini Twins by Robert Ludlum, same author. Read the books, seen the movie. See James Patterson. Now, one thing I like about James Patterson's books is they're very quick reading. I'm reading one of his at the moment called The Store, which kind of reminds me a little bit of Amazon, but it takes it to another extreme. Let's see, what other authors they got here? Probably boring everybody with looking at books, but Sidney Sheldon. I always liked his stuff. He wrote a book, Rage of Angels. Love that book. Sky is Falling. I think this is the one. No, that's a different one. But that's a good book too. The Sky is Falling is a good book. Nothing Lasts Forever is a good book. They had a book of his called Tomorrow Never Comes, and they turned it into a mini-series. It was really good. A lot of Danielle Steele. I've never read any of her books. For as many as she's written and as much as I like to read, I've never read any of hers. Who are some of your favourite authors? Oh, Brad Thor. He writes really good books too. I like his books. They had a good range of books here. Who are some of your favourite authors? Have you... Oh, look. They got DVDs here. Look at that. Let's see. Anything there that fancies me? I just watched Bourne Identity the other day. They have all the Jason Bourne movies. Dancing with the Stars, Ballrooms, Buns and Abs. There you go. Dance your way to fitness. Let's see, what other ones they got over? Oh, these are all the non-fiction ones over here. They got a nice little travel section there. Now, you got to look at this book. This one here, this one fascinated me. So this is Peter Greenberg's book, the Travel Detective Bible. And he has a really good daily newsletter that comes out. And he has his travel detective in here. But see how thick this book is? Check out how big the writing is. It is tiny. It is tiny. I hate where I've got to almost get a magnifying glass to read. I hate books with tiny writing in them. It's a big one to put me off. Oh, Road Trip USA. I have that one in my RV. I also have the one next to it, The Idiot's Guide to... Oh no, hang on, I have not The Idiot's Guide, the other one. The yellow one. So, yeah, then you've got all the, what I call the nickel and dime romances. So, yeah, and this is where people put their books when they bring them back so that they can get refiled again. Got some biographies up there. Now this, Carol Burnett this time together, get the audiobook of this. Do you want to know why you need to get the audiobook of this? It's because she reads it. And she puts in all the inflections and how she wants it read. And she does her Tarzan yell. And she tells her stories how she wants them told. Really funny book. And what's even funnier is you're walking along, you got your headphones in, you're listening to her tell her stories and stuff, and you are cracking up laughing while you're walking. Really, really good book. And the other one is, I don't know if they have his, but there's the Billy Crystal one, which he read, and that was also really good because he did all of his voice imitations. So, yeah, so that's the library here. Sorry for dragging on and pointing out some really good authors and things, but what can I say? I love to read. So I'm going to sit down here, got my bottle of water. I've got one of my little friends with me, Casey Kiwi. I've got my journal with me. I've got my writing book with me. I've got my workbook with me. So I'm going to sit here for a little bit, do some work, do some writing, and then I'll mosey back to the RV. Oh, it's already past lunchtime. I guess I'll stay here probably about 30 minutes or something, and then I'll head back to the RV for lunch. So have a super fantastic sparkling afternoon, and we will talk this evening because I have been asked a really cool question. And I've been asked it a lot lately. So I'm actually going to answer this question tonight on my Facebook Live. So if you want to hear a story about how something came about, then come join me tonight on my Facebook Live, where that question will be answered. Tissues may be required. That's all I can say. So I will see you guys later on this evening. 8 Pacific. Yeah, that's when I'll be on. So if you want to find out what the question is that's going to require a story and may require tissues, come join us at 8 o'clock this evening and all will be revealed. Until then, hei konera.